Okay, and we're back. And what you're seeing is probably a really elongated image or video. And hopefully it's still discernible. Again, we're just doing a quick run through here to show the different parts of Trial Director. So let's go ahead and get into it. What I'm showing you is my preferred method, which is extended screen. And what that means is I can work on my local monitor, what you're seeing on the left side with the trial director working screen. And then on the right side is what you would see on all the courtroom monitors or on a second monitor. Remember, we talked a lot about that in courtroom setup. So, the way that you call up an exhibit is to just put in that exhibit number. If you notice over here on the left, we have an exhibit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros and a 1. It's a lot of zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. There you go. See, too many digits, and you really got to be thinking about the delay that's occurring between someone asking you to put something up, or if you're doing it yourself, entering those digits in and getting it up on screen, and it can take a while. So, and those kind of moments are, speedy trial tech is really worth their weight in gold. So, I'm just cycling through an exhibit here. And the typical things we might do to that are to do what's called a call out. And that's where we do a projection from that, from the exhibit. And we do some highlighting. This is like 90% of what we do in court. And there's, we're following along with the highlighter as they read something. And I hate to be kind of a downer, but I mean, this is kind of the end work product, and you can jazz it up a little bit. You can use different colors. You can circle things. You can, do some really interesting kind of presentation items. But those are the skills that are kind of really easy to master. The hard part really is all the setup that we talked about in the previous modules. The companion skills are actually the hardest things. How to set up the courtroom, how to evaluate the courtroom, how to create a presentation that maximizes the available equipment in that courtroom. So, calling up an image and putting it up on screen and highlighting like I just did, that's kind of easy. That's the thing I'm doing on the right. On the left, making sure every single one of those exhibits are in. That's the hard part, making sure everything's right. And as you can see, on the right, I have my exhibit. It's up here. Someone might be the attorney might be talking about it. And on the left, I'm over here working and taking a look at the outline the attorney may have given me and seeing what the next exhibit might be. So let's try and call that up. And if you look in the lower right-hand part of the screen of the presentation screen, you'll see that the digits are going in. So I'm putting in another one, demo 50, right? So I do my call out. Now it's really important when you're doing these call outs that you give yourself a little bit of spaces here on the edges, just in case. And if you make a mistake, so you buff it, you double click on it to make it go back down, and you just do it again. There's some tricky documents out there. Now, if you notice, I brought up the date and the address, and it has these automatic zooming features, the way it handles it. So to make this smaller, you go to the corner, the bottom right-hand corner, hold down the control key, and you can shrink it up. Because think of how the attorney is going to be talking about this document. Think about the document authenticity that we talked about before. and they're going to be talking about the date. They're going to be talking about who it came from. And now they want to get to what they actually think is important to say, right? And that's how it works in practicality. Click to get this off. And escape to make everything go away. Now what if I start typing and I make a mistake? You'll see in the bottom right hand corner that you have a red signal. That means that exhibit isn't coming up and you probably put it in wrong. 6, 7. Okay. The other thing to pay attention to right next to it in the bottom right hand screen, this shows the various regions that you can put things in. Let's not worry about that so much. I'll tell you about 97% of the stuff that I display is just like this. You can do things side by side. No, there's my tricky move there. You can do things side by side. It's a great feature if you're comparing signatures, or maybe you want to keep the top level email up on one side, but it allows you to do a lot of stuff. That's you can also do top bottom, or actually you could do 4 separate corners. So you could have there's some creativity that you can do here, but let's not worry about that just now. Let's just assume that you're going to be going in for your arbitration and you're just going to be putting things up on screen, and you're going to be putting things up on screen and moving on to your next exhibit. Let me show you one other thing. Those folders that we showed about, the Workbooks Explorer that you see on the far left of the screen. So when you have a workbook, you can bring it up here. All right. So there I've selected the Witness 1 folder that we created at the beginning. And you can cycle through the various exhibits that are in there. See how it's going 1, 4, 4, 1, 11. So, and then I can bring up the one by hitting the green arrow right there. Go to the next one, hit the green arrow. Now page down and page up takes me to the various pages in there. Or I could even put in a command to go to a certain page. So I think that's -page 2. I think I'm already on page 2. -page 3. So not real impressive when you only have a few pages, but if you had 500 pages and you need to go to page 450, you don't want to be going page down, page by page. We'll go over a little bit more of this stuff later, but I just wanted to give you some of my opinions on what you need to know as a beginner. And when it comes right down to it, being able to import exhibits in and put them up on screen and do a call out with some highlighting is usually sufficient. And as you progress, you'll get to know how to use some of the different tools that are available to you. I mean, there's different zoom types. Look in the far right-hand corner. There's different branding you can do here. I don't think I've ever put a big, no stamp across anything or anything along those lines. I have done a lot of arrows. So I was lucky enough to work with some attorneys, a lot of attorneys who trust me quite a bit. So they might be going through a region of a document, and they're just like, just follow along and circle what you think is important and highlight as I'm talking. All right. You can change the colors, and I'm surprised almost everyone uses yellow exclusively, and I try to use as many different colors as I can. It differentiates me from the other guy and helps me look like I'm doing a better job. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this up, and I'm going to do an assignment walkthrough now. Hope this has been helpful. Again, give me a call or an email if you need help.